You may be seated. So Mother's Day, I thought I would give a Mother's Day story. And all Mother's Day for me, every Mother's Day is built around my wife and I's very first Mother's Day together. After back in 1982. About that time, 1 month before Mother's Day, just about a month before Mother's Day, Anita had lost through miscarriage our first baby. So she's a mother, 1982. She's a mom. But in that month's time, some things that happened. We had a propane leak in the trailer that we lived in that almost killed us, and neither one of us had a paying job in several months, and things were just going downhill pretty fast. And so at some point, just after she lost the baby, I decided it was time for me to make some changes, and I was going to go to Bible college I was going to go to Bible college in Virginia, but we were going to go to Colorado to work for the summer to earn a little bit of money. Since there was no work in the Pacific Northwest, we were going to go to Colorado. So on a Saturday morning, we left Waitsburg, Washington, which was my mom, where we had visited Mom and Dad, and we had climbed into our 1978 Chevy Silverado with my 33-foot travel trailer behind it, and our little cat called Tannenbaugh in the front, and the bird, I think, was even in there, was in the cab of our pickup, and we took off toward Colorado. So it's the Saturday before Mother's Day. We made it to Caldwell, Idaho. We got up in the morning, Sunday morning, Mother's Day, and got up, and we drove down to Jerome, Idaho, where we stopped to go to church down in Mountain Home, and in Mountain Home, Idaho, and stopped to go to church. And so we're in church, and now this is Mother's Day. I don't know that I even knew it was Mother's Day at that time. At this point, all Mother's Days are built around this Mother's Day. So we're in a church where we'd never been before. I just pulled into town, Mountain Home, looked in a phone book. I found Bible Baptist Church and the address, and Mountain Home's not big enough that it was much trouble, and it didn't need to have GPS to find it. And so we got to the church there, and pastor's name, I know his name, but I'm not going to mention it right now. So we got there to the services that morning, and I did like I always do. I don't want to get distracted during church. So we walked up to the front and sat in the second row on the right-hand side there, so that there was nothing between us and the preacher. And the preacher got up to preach that morning. And he preached on Mother Moses. She did what she could, and that preacher, I'm going to tell you what he did. So she did what she could. He never looked at the congregation one time. He looked at this corner, and he looked at this corner. 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 And for about 40 minutes, he chewed that congregation up one side, down the other. You dirty, no good, nut for nothing scoundrels, there ain't anything good about you. Moses' mother, she'd do what she could, but you won't do what you could. She did what she could, but you won't be on time for choir. She did what she could, but you won't study for your Sunday school classes. She did what she could, but you won't be out on visitation. She did what she could, but you won't come to church on a regular basis. She did what she could, and never looked at the congregation the whole time. And he got done, he said, "Happy Mother's Day, there's a carnation waiting for you at the back door." So that's Mother's Day for me, and if you get anything better than that, you should just be very thankful. And so that's what Mother's Day is. That's what Mother's Day in the Independent Baptist Church is like, as far as I'm concerned. All Mother's Days are compared by that standard. And so, anyway, happy Mother's Day, ladies. We've got a gift for you. We'll give you that in just a little while.